Fun.
Week 9 in the books. Get out of there. We're going to recap Week 9, and then we'll give our predictions on Week 10, and we'll do some revisiting of our awards that we did at the beginning of the year. Lots changed since then.
Yep.
A lot has.
I think I changed every one of them.
Yeah, I think I did. I think I did mine as
except
well.
one.
Yep, except one. I kept one.
Yeah. So anyway, Week 9. Try to get through this quick. Teams that were on a bye were the Eagles, Rams, Browns, and Bengals.
Guaranteed not to lose.
Yeah. That's always
You can't win, but you can't
Right.
lose either.
It's true.
Can't complain with that.
All right, anywho.
You want to go through the games? You want
Yep,
me to
let's get it going.
Hard. Go into them hard.
hard, just get it. Just get it in there.
All right,
Pound it up a hole.
the first game was the Thursday night game. The 5-2 Packers at the 4-4 49ers. Not a shocker here. The Packers pretty much whooped them here. They cleaned this one up 34-17.
It was kind of a massacre, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
That 17 points.
The
Should have been worse than that, I think.
The 49ers, though,
Garbage
are
time.
pretty much decimated on
Offense.
offense particularly, but they've just got a load of injuries that they're dealing with right now.
They've been decimated all year.
And
Garoppolo out again.
Not
Yeah.
only that, it's the Packers who are a damn good ball club. So,
Except for on defense.
but you know what I mean.
Just run the ball.
You're taking a
Yep.
really good Packers team against a decimated
Yeah.
49ers team. We
Yeah.
kind of all called this Packers. So Packers are now 6-2. 49ers fall to 4-5.
Well,
That's kind of, for the 49ers side of thing, that's kind of scary to be 4-5 because that division is going to be probably a 13-3 division
Yeah.
winner. I don't see them even getting a wild card at this point.
There's a lot of talk that I think Garoppolo is going to be gone.
Right.
He can't stay healthy. They're in their window right now. As long as everybody's healthy,
Mm.
I think they're going to get somebody else in there.
Ryan
Yeah.
Fitzpatrick.
Yeah. Throw him on another team. Then on the Packers side of things, you got Rodgers and I can't think of the receiver.
Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams.
This man
Just
knows.
looking
Fancy.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, he's just looking like a beast, dude.
My thing, if you watch those games, the whole 49er defense, nobody was double teaming Adams.
Mm.
He was this man on a mission there.
And he was just
What's
Well,
weird is
open and-
what's weird is Adams is really the only player that's really doing
Right.
much on their
The-
offense. But
and that brings me to the point of when there was the trade talks,
Mhm.
the Packers didn't want to go after another receiver.
Well,
You
Fuller-
could have had Adams on one side and then
Yeah.
Fuller on the other side, or somebody. I'm sure they could have went out and got somebody.
I think
trade
as good as the
deadline.
Packers are, they make a lot of bonehead decisions. I think.
Right.
I mean that draft, Jordan Love. I mean he's still he's third string still. I don't. What was the point in that?
Right.
I just don't see a
Especially
point.
like with this draft class now, you could have got a quarterback. Even later.
Yeah. They should have got a receiver for Rodgers.
Right. That's what I'm getting at. They didn't take one in the draft, then they didn't take one
They need a
at
run
the trade
stopper.
deadline.
You know?
There is some weaknesses there, but
If you can run the
they're
ball,
6-2.
if you can run the ball on them, it's a rough day. I mean, even going back to when they played the 49ers, when the 49ers were healthy last year in the NFC Championship game, they ran all over them. So that's a big weakness, and they still haven't figured that out. That's what they
Right.
should have done in the draft, too.
I agree with you
They
there.
didn't do that either.
All right, I guess we'll move on to the Sunday earlies. The first game up was the 1-7 Giants at the 2-5 football team.
Giants won it, 23-20.
Wayne Gallman Jr.
What a shootout!
Yeah, that was a good game
Shoot
there.
blanks.
I don't know. Giants are 2-7 now. Football team is 2-6. I don't really know what else to say about this. I mean,
The only stat I know is Daniel Jones is 4-0 against the football team.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
What was it?
1-17 or 1-16 versus the rest of the NFL.
You know, they had something. Maybe we were talking about it, but Daniel Jones has turned the ball over. I think he's like 5 turnovers away from Ryan Leaf's number.
Ooh,
That's bad.
yeah, that's pretty rough.
Some of these teams I thought found their quarterbacks. I think are going to be drafting quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So
The Daniel Jones, I'm not so sold on yet, but the
There's-
Giants, there's still a lot to build. They've still got to do some more building.
Yeah.
And it goes back to what you guys have said before. Do you take a quarterback and just throw him on a garbage team? Or should you, get your O-line, get a little bit of talent, and then take a quarterback 2 years later?
Yeah.
Instead, you're taking your quarterback first and then trying to put pieces around him.
I think it'd be better if we just combined both New York teams.
Yeah. Take the best.
You know, honestly, I think the Jets, though, would be a better team to go to than the Giants.
At this point.
You think
Because
so?
you got Darnold.
Mm-hmm.
They're not sold on Darnold.
Well, you know
Yeah.
what? They need to get over Joe Flacco.
We'll get into
The
that.
man.
On the flip side, the football team lost it in a tight one.
Alex Smith came back, which...
Yep.
They're kind of, the team with a shitty name. I mean, they're playing like it.
What?
Yep.
Kyle Allen, right?
He's not playing.
Fractured his ankle.
Yeah, he got an injury.
Haskins' time's coming back up.
Jeez.
Yeah, you never know.
Another quarterback needy team.
Yep.
When aren't they?
There's not much else to say about that game.
I mean,
Both teams are technically still in the East, but they're 2-7 and 2-6.
It's anybody's game.
And they can still win this division. That is just insane, even talking about that. But all right, on to the next one.
can you imagine if they're...
They should trade one of these teams. All these teams.
Could you imagine?
Like a 4-12
Yeah, I was thinking,
division
you imagine if
winner.
one of them wins and they're like 4-12. Like, hell yeah!
Things might have to get changed if something like that happens.
Well, I'm sure
The upper people in the
They need a home
NFL might
player.
say, "No,
I'm
we
sure
can't."
the league would be complaining about it.
Oh yeah, there's going to be a lot of complaints if that happens. Anywho, on to the next one: the 5-3 Bears at the 5-2 Titans.
All I gotta say is the Bears are who I thought they were.
Yep. The
They stopped Derrick Henry.
yeah, they did stall him.
Yeah, and their defense didn't score till the fourth quarter.
Hey,
Or their offense, I mean.
But the Titans won at 24-17 officially.
And it would.
The Bears are now 5-4. The Titans are now 6-2. But we'll start with the Bears first. They were 5-1 3 weeks ago, and now they've lost 3 in a row. Like you said, they are who you thought they were.
They played a lot of easy teams, I think.
Yep. The 5-1, they jumped out to 5-1. Everyone was, are they for real? Are they finally for real?
Yeah.
And then now that they faced 3 real good or
Playoff
above
teams.
average playoff teams, they've lost all 3 games.
So,
So what does that tell you?
They need a quarterback.
like I said, their offense, they didn't do. I mean, they looked terrible. That whole game looked awful. Pretty much that 17 points came in pretty much garbage time.
Yep, garbage time. The
I mean,
Titans were probably
Yeah.
playing their second stringers and everything else.
It's just not good.
So
I heard a lot of Bears fans complaining about that
Mhm.
Nick Foles. We need to go back to Trubisky.
Right.
When you're saying you need to go back to Trubisky,
That's bad.
I don't know.
I'm with you there. So on the Titans side of things, they're now 6-2. They're leading the division there over the Colts. Good things to say about them.
They
bad
had a
things?
couple weeks where they didn't play very good. It seemed like those 2 losses were about 2 weeks in a row, I think, and I was like, oh, maybe they're not
And-
looking so good. But they were playing against good teams. So.
I watched this game because this game came on TV because I don't have the sweet NFL package that you guys have.
You're missing out. But.
Oh, I know I am. But
I know.
anyways, this game was on TV. I watched it, and even the Titans won at 24-17. It seemed like it was a struggle, though.
Yeah.
Granted, the Bears do have a pretty stout defense,
Yeah.
but they didn't run all over them. They didn't really even score until the second quarter.
Well, that's the thing with the Titans. If Derrick Henry doesn't get going,
Right.
they kind of struggle. a little
Tannehill's
bit.
not like Wilson. He can score, but now if it gets into a shootout, I don't think.
Right.
No.
This is the kind of game that Tannehill wins, 24-17.
Just manage the game. Don't turn the ball
Right.
over, and you guys can win.
All right, I guess we'll move on to the next one. The 3-4 Lions at
Uh-oh.
the 2-5 Vikings. Take it off.
What's happening?
You guys
What's
need-
happening?
You guys need to
We're
quit.
winning games now.
Now you're out of the
2 division games in a row.
Yep.
Trevor Lawrence ordeal.
Yeah, we're not getting Trevor Lawrence.
I took the Lions to beat you guys. That didn't happen.
This is exactly what I said was going to happen. Now they're gonna
Sir.
start winning games. They're gonna just fall short of the playoffs.
And then you're going to be into that 15 to 20 draft
And
range.
we'll take a defensive player probably. But, the defense is starting to gel a little bit. The younger guys are starting to gel. Dalvin Cook is destroying everybody they're playing right now. He had 206 rushing yards in this game.
I think it said it was his first 200-yard rushing game in his career.
So that might be the highest of the season.
That probably is, I would say.
I mean, he's just tearing it up. Now, it's hard for me to go back and say when they just paid him, I don't know if it's a good idea. My problem is he going to stay healthy?
Right.
Because he's missed a game already, which,
Well, really, the way he's playing, it's not sustainable.
But if he plays like this, kind of like with Henry we were talking about, Cousins is kind of like Ryan Tannehill a little bit, maybe a little better. But if Cook can't get going, Kirk's going to struggle a little bit.
Right.
Now, what's going on with the tight ends?
Irv Smith.
Yeah, what's going on with Irv? Where's Rudolph?
Rudolph's kind of been MIA for a couple of years, really. He comes in every now and then and makes plays, but Irv Smith is their younger tight end, and he's pretty good, and I think that's who they want to be the
guy. So they're kind of feeding him a little
That's why I kind of thought they were going to trade Rudolph at the trade deadline. But
I'm sure you guys could have guessed something for Rudolph.
Oh, yeah. I think they had offers. I think they said the Titans were trying to get Riley Reef, and they didn't want to trade him. And actually, their offensive line's playing good now. I don't understand.
Which is weird.
Well, they put Ezra Cleveland in at right guard, who they drafted to be their left tackle, and he's been like one of the highest rated guards the past couple weeks.
Things might have just started to click a little bit, though. Sometimes, especially without a preseason, a shortened off season, which every team went through it, but some teams it may have affected a little bit differently. So,
well, our defense, I mean, the whole secondary, I mean, 2 of the starters are rookies. I mean. So
they had to take a few weeks to come into their own. So
and then you got Daniil Hunter out all year. You've had Anthony Barr out.
Then you guys get rid of Yannick.
Yeah.
You traded Yannick.
Anthony Barr's been hurt. Michael Pierce opted out.
It's been a rough one.
I mean, it's been. But I mean, everything's starting to gel a little bit. So we'll see what happens. But I could see him going 8-8. Maybe.
So the official score was the Vikings won 34-20. It drops the Lions to 3-5, and it brings you guys up to 3-5.
And now we're
so, like you're saying, 8-8, 9-7. You don't see them winning out, or maybe just losing one more, and going 10-6.
I think they'll lose a few.
No, I think now, kind of like you guys said earlier in the season, if you're going to be 8-8, 9-7, either you're going to go all the way in the playoffs, or you're going to tank.
Right. So
you're better off getting a higher draft pick.
Obviously, like you said before, players and coaches,
they're not tanking.
They don't want to tank. I don't care what you say. Those players are paid to play, and the coaches are paid to coach.
Yep.
And your whole goal is to win games.
Yeah.
Now, as far as like the tanking thing goes, I do think maybe when you get so late into the season, I wouldn't necessarily say to purposely tank, but you take some of your starters out, you let your rookies in there. You still try to win, but if you lose, whatever. It's getting those younger guys experience, but I don't think teams try to tank.
My issue with them winning now is I'm afraid that that's going to be like, oh, let's keep Kirk Cousins.
Right.
Which I don't want.
Right. You don't want Cousins for too much
I kind of said this. I think it was this weekend. I think you guys are better off keeping Cousins. I think you're better off making that offer.
You better go wash your mouth out with soap.
Honestly, I think for the next 2 years,
until his guaranteed money's up.
I think you guys are better off taking that draft pick, building that offensive line up, and then taking a guy.
Right, and it would. You keep Cousins, you stay because he's already on a huge contract. You go ahead and pay him and let the due process play out, and then you build up around it. And then once you get rid of Cousins, then you can install a new young quarterback.
Thinking like that,
something else already established.
Thinking like that, I mean, imagine Justin Jefferson's just going to get better in his second year. Daniil Hunter, Michael Pierce will be back. Anthony Barr will be back.
Well, another thing too is you got Cook on an extension. By the time it's time for pay Jefferson, Thielen will probably be almost on a new deal. Then you draft your rookie quarterback, which you don't have to worry about paying him $100 million. So then you can start making sure you keep up your offensive line, receivers, like kind of what Dallas has done.
Yep.
And now you're starting to see the ripple because
they're definitely not in a total rebuild mode. They're just
But
pieces.
you don't want to
Yeah.
purposely tank. But like you
Yeah.
said, you guys are going to be good enough where it's like if
You're in the
you're going to
middle.
lose, just fucking lose.
No, but nobody does. It seems like unless you're the Jets,
Right. Nobody does that. Though.
they put up a fighting chance.
Yeah,
Hey, they did.
We'll get
We'll
to
talk
that.
about that on the Monday night.
But anyway, the Lions side, I mean, they're
They're the Lions.
the Lions.
Yeah.
I think they had everybody fooled by winning a few games early on, and then it just kind of
Really,
apart.
I think if you're the Lions, I think it's time to move on from Stafford.
I agree. I agree with that. So that's there's a couple teams out there hunting for. I mean, if you talk about the Lions, they might be hunting for a quarterback as well. So I guess we'll move on to the next game. The 3-5 Panthers at the 7-1 Chiefs.
This was
Now, for the 3-5 Panthers, they made this thing a game.
They did.
And they even had a chance at the end of it and missed the field goal. But the Chiefs officially won 33-31, which drops the Panthers to 3-6, and the Chiefs rise up to 8-1. So let's start with the Panthers first. They're 3-6, but they played well.
I think what kept them competitive in this game, McCaffrey came back in this game for a little while. He got hurt again, though. That's going to hurt them a little bit. But
Yeah, McCaffrey played very well, and just the
Bridgewater.
offense. Yeah, Bridgewater. They had some things going,
Yeah.
and they had some things going right for them.
I have seen the Chiefs struggle a little bit on defense the past few weeks.
I was getting ready to say that the Chiefs kind of have a weakness on defense.
They do.
It's seeming.
It seems like if you can keep extending the drives,
Yep.
and if you keep the defense on the field, it seems like they start getting wore down.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way to beat them. Like you said, even going back to the Raiders, put 3-man rush, drop everybody else back, make Mahomes throw it.
Certain things
Yeah.
work against them. I think they're starting to figure them out, but the Chiefs. Well, I guess we'll flip to the Chiefs since we're talking about them a little bit now. They are, I believe, the statistic was 17-1 in their last 18 games, with only the one loss coming right there. They had like a little undefeated run.
And the Raiders.
And the Raiders are the one. So like 17-1 in the last 18. So Mahomes is just on fire.
What you can kind of, even in this game, he's starting to have to play the Russell Wilson, it seems like. He's having to bail the defense out.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you saw in the Super Bowl with the 49ers.
You can't sustain that,
No.
but it works every once in a while.
No.
And you can't put that pressure on a quarterback.
Right.
But the Chiefs, I mean, they're going to be good. They're going to be in the playoffs. They're going to be one of the Super Bowl contenders.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Now,
It only takes one game though, any given
Yeah.
Sunday.
flip side, do you wish that the Vikings would have kept Teddy Bridgewater? Looking back now to how it is now, what kind of Teddy you're seeing?
I don't know, man. Like, he's playing well. Definitely would have been a lot cheaper.
Yeah. I think he's 3 years, $66 million.
I kinda
so that's
wish-
$22 million a season.
I kind of wish, instead of signing Cousins, I know Keenum wasn't like the best, but he played good in that offense. I wish they would have kept Keenum for another year. And if
Only
that,
making
and if,
$10 million rather than
and if
$30
that wouldn't have
million.
worked out, then they could have drafted somebody right after that.
Right.
Because, I don't know. Bridgewater, I mean, he can make some plays with his legs and stuff, but he's not. The thing with Bridgewater is he doesn't really bomb the ball down the field either.
He's more of a
He's a dink
10
and dunk
10-yard
kind of
Right.
quarterback. He's good.
And then he takes off with his legs.
The
once
weird
in a
thing,
while.
and Cousins, he can be really good as long as your running game's working. You know what I mean?
But he's your typical.
But when you throw everything on his shoulder,
Right.
he's not going to bail you out.
Now, there was a really cool play that the Panthers had. It was like a 4th and 13. I guess it was kind of late in the game. And because Bridgewater had the thing with the knee.
Yeah.
So everyone was worried about that. And the play was 4th and 13. And he just went for it. He took off running right up the middle. And he dove right at the safeties. He got the first down. But, I mean, he went high in the air, dove, got hit and smashed and landed on the ground, got the first down. But, like, everyone was like,
moment of silence.
yeah, moment of silence, like the
They're one hit away from being.
No.
But the point of it is that he's not worried about that knee anymore.
No.
It looks like he's going out there playing, and he's going all out. So that's exciting to see for Panthers fans. He's not holding back or playing scared with his knee. He's going right at the defense.
Well, that was probably the best thing, too, for him because he sat behind Breeze.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got eased back into, working.
Right.
Now he's finally, probably going on the second year away from it.
I still think the Saints probably should have
kept
him, but
Saints could have kept him. Vikings could have kept him. Man, it's crazy to
Vikings
think.
didn't know, though.
He's
You
right.
didn't know.
Yeah,
You don't know how players
no
are
one
going to
ever
play after
knows.
something like
He's
that.
the one that got away.
Yeah.
Anywho, Panthers are 3-6. Chiefs are 8-1.
Chiefs are Chiefs.
Chiefs are Chiefs. Panthers are the Panthers.
And kind of last thing to add on the Chiefs, what happened to Le'Veon Bell?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, they might still be working him into the offensive game plan.
What happened to him after he left Pittsburgh?
Yeah, he
I'm
hasn't
saying.
been. Yeah, he cashed in. He hasn't been as good. I guess we'll keep this moving along. The next game up is the 1-6 Texans at the 1-6 Jaguars. Mic drop.
Texans
I'm
won
joking. Yeah,
27-25, so
it's a good game.
Good game for two teams that really
Aren't that good?
doing much.
Mm.
I guess kind of one of the highlights for the Texans, kind of came out that pretty much J.J. Watt probably gone.
Yep.
There were some articles and some news kind of coming up saying that he wants to go to a contender.
Yeah. Yep. That was the news that I heard as well.
It wouldn't surprise me if he ends up in Pittsburgh with his brothers.
He wants to play for a championship, not for a team that's rebuilding. And the Texans, even with the win, are now 1-6. The Jaguars fall to 1-7, but Watt is on the Texans, so you're looking at a 2-6 team. They're essentially in a near rebuild mode. They got their quarterback, but they still need all these other pieces. Mm-hmm. J.J. Watt don't want to be a part of that because he's starting to age a little bit. He's still in his prime, but you got 3 to 5 years, good, solid years left. Yeah, Watt's going to want to get out of there and go to somewhere that he can make an immediate impact into a team that's going to make a playoff push yearly.
No. Then on the other side, you got the Jags, and they're
in rebuild mode as well.
Right now, if the draft happened today, they'd have the second pick.
Right.
And they're going to get a quarterback.
I think you'd be all open arms Justin Fields.
That's what's going to happen.
Yep. Now, what was it, Lambeau? Is that who started?
Josh Lambeau.
He didn't actually play pretty bad.
I think that's his name. I don't remember.
Minshew Mania is the only one that matters. Minshew.
But again, they're a team. Now they do have some decent receivers. Mm-hmm. Their running backs not been too bad.
Right.
James Robinson, that rookie. But I just think they need help on defense.
They're trading away all their pieces.
They need help on O-line.
Yeah, they traded away everybody. So I don't know.
I mean, the last one left? Probably Miles Jack?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's still there.
Telvin Smith? That's big names right there.
So, I guess we'll move on from that one. There's not much else to say there. The next one is yours. The 5-2 Ravens at the 5-2 Colts. I think we all kind of took the Ravens on this one.
It looked ugly.
It started out shaky, didn't it?
The Ravens officially won 24-10, which puts them at 6-2, and the Colts dropped to 5-3. But we'll let you take it since it's your team.
Oh, it was ugly in the first half. Ravens had 56 total yards, and there was a lot of bitching.
Mm-hmm.
Calais Campbell got hurt with a calf strain. He's supposedly going to be out the next couple weeks. They just kept him out of the game. And then, surprisingly, Greg Roman changed the offense around. I don't know what happened, but it looked like the Ravens from last year.
Right.
Now, I think they played more of a high up-tempo,
and
I think they kind of let Lamar run the offense like he should, rather than doing the weird one-off, we're just going to dump and dive, halfback dive to read option shit. We do that all the time. I don't know why. Because I think everybody's now starting to key in on how to
contain.
Yeah, to contain
Lamar.
it.
You'll never stop him totally, but they're figuring out how to contain him a little bit at least.
Then there was a controversial. You guys see the interception?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Rivers was a little salty about that one.
Yeah, they said Marcus Peters went up to him after the game and said, hey, you think that's an interception? And River said, hell no. But, I mean, good thing is the Ravens got the win. I mean, especially, it was kind of scary looking earlier this week because they had a lot of guys on the COVID list. Which everybody ended up coming in except for Marlon Humphrey.
Seems like a lot of these guys that are on the COVID list, seems like after a couple of days they seem to come back. Most of them.
Well, I think they test them.
They just
while
come
they're
in
sitting
contact
out.
with somebody.
Right.
Or,
And then they just want to make sure that they officially do or don't have it. Which that's the right thing to do from the league's perspective.
I have seen a lot of the mainstream sports analysts talking about how they think the Ravens are regressing.
And we've
weird.
seen that a little bit.
It's weird to hear that about a 6-2 team.
It's because they were 14-2 last season, so they're 6-2. They should be 7-1.
Like you said, the offense maybe more than the play calling.
I think it's that the play calling. Now I know I'm in a couple of Ravens groups and we were going back and forth. A lot of them are thinking Roman's not showing the whole offense.
Right.
Just for the simple fact of like what they did in the second half, it looked like last year.
So, and what you guys did in the playoffs last year kind of fell flat. You might have showed too much during the season.
Nobody's got any
Titans
tape on it, which
right.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if teams do that.
I can see what you're saying there. A really cool statistic about Lamar. He is tied for the winningest first 30 games of a career, I think, isn't he?
Yep,
He's
25-5.
25-5 through the first 30 games of a career. That's the NFL record. I don't remember who was it Marino?
Marino.
Dan Marino was 25-5 as well, so he tied. But I don't see any reason that he's not going to continue adding on to that as he keeps going because he's a really good quarterback, and he's obviously got the legs, and he's starting to show the arm a little bit.
I think the biggest thing is we're starting to see that Yonda retired, and I think you're starting to see the
O-line.
And now we're starting to get the injury bug. Stanley's out. You know, the typical what happens to the Ravens every year. They start getting all these injuries piling up.
How's Unique playing?
Oh, he's there. He hasn't really done anything tremendous yet.
Right. He's not.
Like I said, he's not. His big problem is stopping the run.
Because especially in this game, the Ravens had a lot of issues still with the pass rush. I don't know. They're going to need to make a couple more moves. Hopefully it comes in this draft. I'm hoping. But on the Colts side, it was kind of ugly for Rivers.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't a good game.
Did you guys see the return for the touchdown? Fucking Rivers just fell back.
Oh, yeah. This is what Rivers does, though, man.
He's
a turnover machine, and this year he's actually not been that horrible at it. But
I think they actually had his statistics. I think it said he's 6 touchdowns, 1 interception through the last 2 games, and then they turned the ball over a couple times.
Right.
I think if you're the Colts, you gotta start looking for a quarterback.
And I think the Colts know that he's
Rivers is the bridge guy.
Yeah, he's your bridge quarterback. But the thing is, like they're going to be good enough to probably make a wild card. They're going to be in the 20s in the draft. So they're going to be drafting 25. You're going to be good enough to make the playoffs, but not good enough to overcome the Chiefs or the Ravens. You might as well just go into full-on rebuild mode rather than trying to do this Phillip Rivers, give us a bridge, keep us good for a couple of years. Just go into rebuild mode and start it over, man.
Some of these teams do that. They get a bridge quarterback after a bridge quarterback after...
And then they're always good enough to make the playoffs, but never good enough to make a true push. And it's like, you might as well just go after the young quarterback and save a bunch of money and build the team around that quarterback. But I don't know. We're not GMs.
Yeah, that must be why, because it makes too much sense.
Right?
But yeah, I mean, Ravens won. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Yep. The last thing I'll say about the Ravens, I believe both of their losses were to top-tier teams. Yep. So you're 6-2, but both losses are to top playoff teams. So you can't be too down on them right now. And like you said, you can always catch them in the playoffs and maybe have a different stuff that you haven't shown.
Yeah.
So All right, I guess we'll move on.
Oh man.
The 6-1 Seahawks at the 6-2 Bills. I don't know if any of us took the Bills or not. I don't think so. We were all riding the Seahawks, but the final score was the Bills 44-34.
The Seahawks defense is terrible.
That Jamal Adams trade really is.
Did you see he got into it with Pete?
Yeah.
Jamal Adams and Pete Carroll got into it on the sideline. He's actually, since he's been there, he's statistically like one of the worst. Oh, yeah.
Well, I saw something today that said the Seahawks, since obtaining him, they're giving up about 100 more yards a game.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which...
Josh Allen's been tearing it up, man.
Right.
And then another thing on the Seahawks side, Petey got an extension.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
He
He will probably be the coach until he retires.
Yeah.
I'd imagine. Until I guess he doesn't actually pay the guys now.
I've always liked Pete Carroll.
Yeah, I don't think.
Petey.
But Seahawks are now 6-2 after starting undefeated.
It's another team that Russell Wilson's the whole show.
Yeah.
And kind of with this one, I don't know if this was the league high. Russell Wilson got hit, I think it was 17 times.
Oh, wow.
Drop back.
Yeah, wow.
And I can't remember how many sacks it was. I want to say it was...
Multiple.
What was it, 8 or 9? I want to say.
Now, the Seahawks, they've got good receivers, but their running backs cannot stay healthy. None of their running backs can stay healthy.
They can't keep a running game.
And their defense is bad.
The defense, Wilson can't keep
The
doing
line
this.
is so.
This game kind of just showed you that. I mean,
They have weaknesses.
Wilson was getting hit and he was getting flustered, and it wasn't good.
Mm-mm.
Now, honestly, here's the question. We're all gonna ask them. Well, maybe I just will. When do they call Marshawn Lynch?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think Marshawn Lynch is coming.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Bread.
But
it might come down to it.
To be honest with you, I mean, I know they got Dunlap, man. If I were them, I would have tried to trade for a couple more defensive players at the trade deadline because they got problems.
They need defense more than offense.
Well, I think. I know we're not to the game yet, but that's coming up next. What was his name?
Oh,
Falcons.
McKinley.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Falcons got rid of McKinley, which they were offered a second-round pick last year, declined it, and they were offered I think it was like a 4th and a 6th this year, and they declined it again.
Then they get rid of him.
Cut him. I think the Seahawks would be a perfect addition.
Yeah,
right.
They got to take whatever they can get because they're a really good team. They just once you get into the playoffs and you get in a shootout with Aaron Rodgers or
the Bills put up 44. Are you going to be able to match that?
Well, and you're saying too the defense how bad they are. You're not getting any pressure up front.
No.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't get any pressure on Aaron Rodgers, he's going to sit back and throw the ball.
Right. Yeah, Rodgers will tear you apart. Mahomes will tear you apart.
Or Aaron Jones, and the Packers will start running the ball all over.
Right. On the other side of things, the Bills are 7-2. They put up a lot of points. I mean, they gave up 34 points to Russ, but they put up 44 on that defense. And they're looking they're for real. Mm-hmm. They are. I mean, they lost a couple games.
The smartest thing they did was trade for Stephon Diggs because he's leading receiving yards right now. So
they're 7-2 for the first time since I think it was 93 or 94, and they said that was one of the years that they went to the Super Bowl. They went to 4 Super Bowls in a row.
Yeah.
That was one of the years. So they're 7-2 for the first time since their Super Bowl run.
Might as well not make it if you're going to go to 4 straight.
It's weird, man. Josh Allen just kind of came out of nowhere. Like when he got drafted, nobody was really talking about him.
It was a big kid that had a strong arm.
Yeah.
I didn't really think he was going to turn out to be anything. But I think they've built around him.
Right, and that's the right way to do it.
Yeah.
So
they're going to be real competitive.
They're 7-2 and they're leading that division. I don't think the Patriots are going to. I think the Bills got this division. Now Miami, which is coming up, is going to be in the mix. I think more so than New England this year, which is kind of a nice change of pace because New England has ruled that division for so long. Man, it's getting old. So it's nice to see the Bills on top here.
Yeah.
Moving on. The 3-4 Broncos at the 2-6 Falcons. Woo-hoo! The Falcons won this game 34-27. I think this is one that I was back and forth on, but I ultimately came to take the Falcons.
Like we talked about, I think since the Falcons fired Dan Quinn, man, they've been playing a lot better.
A coach can be the biggest kryptonite for a team, it seems like.
So,
and the Broncos are just a hard team to figure out. Man.
Right.
One week Drew Lock looks really good. Next week he's terrible. Right. Then he looks good.
Really,
terrible.
I think they're another team that needs a quarterback.
Yeah.
But they get a quarterback all the time.
Yeah. They're rotating quarterback.
How many times has Elway, just got drafted a quarterback?
Osweiler, Tebow, Keenum. Well, I'm just naming all the quarterbacks they've had.
Yeah,
there's a lot more.
Crazy.
Manning.
Which that worked out, but
really,
that's the last one that worked out for him.
They should have kept Tebow.
Yeah. The official score was Falcons 34-27.
He's the one that got away.
The Broncos fall to 3-5. The Falcons come up to 3-6.
Really
like you said, there's not much to say about it.
Yeah.
Broncos are a revolving quarterback type of team right now. They need to get one quarterback and stay with them.
Kind of the way it's seeming. Let me know if you guys okay, so we got the Giants football team, Jaguars, Broncos,
Texans.
I wouldn't even say the Texans in this, but it seems like to me these teams are a quarterback swinging door. They draft a quarterback. 2 years later, they want a different quarterback. 2 years later, they can't find the guy. Which, because think about it, because you got Giants.
But we'll talk about the Jets later, but that's a team that they're probably going to draft another quarterback.
Why?
They just took one, a couple of years ago. It was a couple of years.
Sam Darnold. He's still young.
And it's like you don't give the guy anything.
You expect him to go out and win 10 games, and right.
I think somebody's going to end up getting Sam Darnold, and he's going to do something special.
Right.
I
think so too.
Yeah. You don't think so?
I don't think he's that. I don't know. USC quarterbacks have been that great.
Right. I get it.
I really don't think he's that great.
Well, we'll talk about that later, I guess.
Yeah.
So on the Falcons side of things, they're now 3-6. Like you said, after the whole firing and the interim coaches came in and kind of installed a little bit more discipline or something. I don't know what's going on here.
Well, I'm starting to think
they've won a couple games. Now, I think 3 of their games this year were very close losses. So they're 3 games away from this being. They're 3-6. They could be 6-3.
Yeah.
They're 3 really close losses away from being 6-3 right now. So honestly, they're not a terrible team. They have a terrible record.
No.
But it's like if they could have won those that they blew.
There's a few teams like that. Like we talked, my Vikings. They lost 2 games by 1 point.
Right.
I think we're starting to see this. It's gonna be hard to say. I think the Falcons are the modern day Lions.
Right.
You have Julio Jones. It's like Calvin. You're wasting.
Matt Ryan.
You're wasting this guy's career. Matt Ryan, Matthew Stafford.
No.
It seems like.
Although the Falcons did make it to a Super Bowl.
Well.
Right.
They ain't been the same since.
No. But they did make it there.
Yeah.
So it's. Well, they're 3-6. Now, what are we thinking about Matt Ryan and Julio? Do you think they're going to stay there, or do you think there's plans to maybe...
I don't think they're moving off of Matt Ryan. I think they'll keep him around.
They will?
They're not going to have a chance to get one of these top quarterbacks. I don't.
So they're going to stay with Ryan. What about
because they're going to win a few more games.
It's one of those...
No.
I think it comes to a point with a guy like that, you want to keep him, but you have to start valuing the long-term success of the team.
You got Ridley, so you've got a good receiver.
Now, will Ridley be that great when Julio's gone? Probably not.
Because Julio's taking a lot of heat on the other side.
But I think it's kind of like what the Raiders did with Mac. You have to take what you can get. Obviously, are they going to win it all with Julio and Matt Ryan? Probably not. If you can get 2 first-round picks...
Or at least 1 first-rounder. Even just 1.
I don't think you'd get 2 first-round picks. Not for him, not now.
I don't think so either.
He's good, but I don't think he's as good as he was.
Maybe like a first and a third. Maybe like a first this year and then a third.
Maybe a first and a second.
Yeah.
But anyways, we'll see. We'll see what happens in the offseason. That's a little ways away. Going on to the Sunday late games. The 4-3 Raiders at the 2-5 Chargers.
Raiders.
The Raiders won this game 31-26. They're now 5-3. The Chargers are now 2-6.
The Chargers again,
which
had a chance to
Close
come back
game.
and win it, which they've done a lot this year.
Mm-hmm. 5-point loss.
Yeah, which is all their losses pretty much have been by one score.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Which is hard to figure out. You think eventually they would
Start
figure something out.
right.
Raiders are one of those teams. They're playing well again this year. They've had a couple losses that are kind of
They're hit or
Kind of
miss.
shaky.
Yeah,
Now, Raiders got fined this week, correct?
yeah.
So,
I think it was, what was it, $500,000?
COVID.
For the COVID
And they
stuff.
lost what, a draft pick was?
$500,000 for
Not
COVID.
wearing masks and then letting somebody in there that wasn't supposed to be in there.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Anyways,
Anyways,
Gruden don't like wearing a mask on the sideline.
Yeah.
He yells too much.
Raiders are 5-3, like you said. They're hit and miss, but when they look good, they look good.
I think they're going to be a playoff team.
So,
Carr was
I can
starting
see
to tear
that.
it up again.
Carr's looking good, man. Josh Jacobs looks good. Darren Waller.
You got enough pieces around him to stay consistent.
Like we said earlier, you
the
know,
Raiders beat the Chiefs. They're
Yeah.
the one team that beat the Chiefs. So
trading Khalil Mack, I think, was the best thing for him when they did
because
that.
you were able to get draft picks and you're able to build a little bit around Carr and build the team up a
Yeah.
little bit. On the flip side, the Chargers, like you said, they've
Herbert
lost
looks good.
Yeah.
by all 6 of their losses are by a combined 24 points. That's one game.
I think in those
some
games, some of them
And they
were
were-
missed field goals at the end of
Right.
the games. And
And it's you got 6 losses like that. But I mean, overall, I like what Herbert's showing us.
he
He's
looks
showing a
really
lot of
good.
promise.
He's showing a lot of promise. Yes, they're losing, but there's a lot there to like.
Yeah,
They're going uphill with Herbert.
yeah.
So that's the last thing I'll say about it, unless you
Yeah.
guys have anything else.
That's about it. I mean, I think Herbert will have them by the end of the season in a better place than Rivers will.
Well, and
I think so too.
on the Chargers side too, Austin Eckler's been out for weeks, so their run game hasn't been that great.
And once they get that
On
back, it
defense, they're
might
missing Derwin James is
Yeah.
out the year and Bosa's out.
add an extra couple
Yeah.
layers. You know, getting Eckler back, you can add that extra.
I think
layer.
next year they'll be a lot better.
Yeah. As soon as they get everybody back and healthy.
Whew.
Uh-oh. This one was...
The next one, 7-0 Steelers at my 2-6 Cowboys. There's a lot of good to say about this game. Steelers won 24-19, but the Cowboys, playing with a third-string quarterback, took the Steelers to the end of the fourth quarter, and we had the ball and one last chance to win. Obviously, it didn't happen, but that's a lot of pressure to put on a third-string quarterback. I don't even know if Dalton would have
No.
pulled it out, but it seems to me. Oh, let's officially the Steelers are now 8-0. The Cowboys are now 2-7. So the Cowboys suck, but
Still in the-
technically we're still in the hunt for the division. Technically, but on the Cowboys side of things, I'll go ahead and get that out of the way here. We seem to have played a lot more competitively than we had in previous weeks.
Yeah.
Now we got Sean Lee back, and I noticed on defense, I don't know if it's just that middle linebacker, that Ray Lewis, Urlacher mentality. He came back. He's in the center of the field. He was directing things, and he was being a leader on that defense. And all of a sudden, we're holding the 7-0 Steelers team to 9 points at halftime, and then they barely beat us. But getting Lee back, it seemed to energize and have some leadership. If you see what I'm saying, because our defense was terrible all the way up to this game.
Well, if you think about
and then
it,
we got him back, one player, and it seems like it just something clicked when he was back.
Well,
the experience,
yeah, you have to have
and all that.
I mean, because you have Jalen Smith and Van Der Esch.
Yeah, we've got talent with them, but Lee is the experience.
He knows where to set everybody
Right.
up, which I don't. I mean, I think a lot of times nobody really thinks about having that. You have to have that center field.
The middle linebacker that's calling
Even if
audibles.
it's a safety, but
Yep.
that one guy that knows the whole playbook in and out that knows where to set everybody up.
And getting Lee back, it really showed a big difference to me on defense. On offense, like I said, third string quarterback. We're down Dak. We're down Dalton. We were going with Gilbert.
You weren't expecting much.
Gilbert,
I wasn't expecting much, but he actually put us in a good position.
Yeah.
So now if Dalton can show us what he showed us as a Bengal, and if he could come in and run it like he used to, I think we can win some games.
And he may come back because you guys are on a bye this week.
We're on a bye this week, and it's going to give him one more week to come out of the concussion.
I really think if you guys go the next couple games, if Dalton doesn't do that great, I could see you going with Gilbert.
I could see that too, because Dalton's got to show us something. He didn't show us anything.
Dalton's on a year deal too, so that kind of gives you the, can he play in our system if we need him to?
So
one blow to the Cowboys was Trayvon Diggs got hurt, right?
Yep.
He's out a couple
broken
weeks.
foot, out 4 to 6 weeks. Yeah. So let's move on from the Cowboys though to the Steelers side of things.
Big Ben,
I know you don't like him.
Mm-hmm.
Big Ben hurt his knee.
He's on the COVID list now.
Yeah.
They played well enough.
Go wrong with it.
They played well enough to get the win. They're 8-0. Tomlin is just an awesome coach. I can't say enough good things about Tomlin. I wish we could get Tomlin on the Cowboys.
Was there something about, didn't he break the record for the most coaching wins? Or no, he hasn't had a losing season.
Yep, he has not had a losing season since he's been there. That is awesome.
I want to say it's 14 years.
Yep, 14 straight years without a losing season.
To you, didn't I?
Yeah, we sent it. You sent it earlier.
We send too much stuff to each other.
Yeah,
we talk
do.
all the time.
Always talking football.
Baby.
But really, with the Steelers, I mean, they're 8 now. It is what it is.
Yep, it is what it is. They're you guys are 6-2. They're 8-0. Now there's still a chance that they could kind of fall off a little bit, but I'm guessing they're going to go around the 14-2 to 13-3 range.
Maybe 12-4.
I don't. Maybe 12-4.
If Ben Roethlisberger can stay healthy, because I think if he gets hurt,
now we don't know what's going on with his knee. One more big blow to the Steelers is Roethlisberger is on the COVID-19 list. I don't think he has COVID, but he was in contact. And so they've tested him. He's in quarantine. And that means he can't do team activities, but he's rehabbing his knee anyways.
No.
But if he is not good to go, if he does have COVID, or even if they say, well, we have to extend your quarantine, you can't play, that's getting into what we talked about. This whole COVID thing can change games entirely if a major player or starter is ruled out.
No.
Could the Steelers suffer a loss to the Bengals? We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about
that in our Week 10 pick'ems. But that's a big blow, though, is, Roethlisberger on the COVID-19 list. So we'll move on to the next one. This game was pretty exciting here. The 4-3 Dolphins at the 5-2 Cardinals. We took the Cardinals. I think you took Miami. So you're the one that took them. Miami officially won 34-31. It was a tight game all the way.
Really think about it.
The Cardinals had a chance to win it, or not win it, tie it to take it to overtime, and the field goal was short.
Yeah.
It was on the replay. It was
dead on.
Like here's your thing, and it went dead on, but it was just right underneath the bar.
Really think about it, kind of going what the score is. If Murray didn't fumble the ball, they probably would have won the game.
Yeah.
Right.
Fumbled and got it returned.
Dolphins, man.
Dolphins are 5-3. The Cardinals are now 5-3 as well.
I think the Dolphins are ahead of schedule.
Yep.
As far as being
Tua
contending.
is 2-0 as starter now.
And Fitzpatrick won them 3 games too before that. So
really, too, kind of sitting there. They're kind of sitting pretty because if something happens to Tua gets hurt,
you still have
got Fitzpatrick that had you undefeated.
And their defense is actually playing pretty good too. I mean, I know Cardinals put 31 points up, but the last few weeks their defense have been playing pretty good.
The Dolphins going into this game, I don't know what the new updated thing is, but the Dolphins going into this week were the number 1 defense in the league.
Yeah.
That was kind of shocking to me because they're only 4-3. You're thinking, 4-3, but they actually have a good defense.
Yeah.
They just
And then
have to
kinda-
put some points up.
Kind of on the Cardinal side, Murray is the first player in NFL history with 2,000 passing yards and 500 rushing yards through 8 games.
To the halfway point of the season.
He's gonna be good, man.
So he's on pace for 4,000 and 1,000. I don't think that's ever happened. 4,000, maybe 3,500 and 1,000, but 4,000 and 1,000.
You think that's
that would be a landmark?
You think that's sustainable though?
No, it's not.
It's the same thing. These quarterbacks have to throw the ball.
Mm.
As you get older, you're not going to be able to run like
Right.
you used to. I mean, look at what happened to Vic. Even
Yep.
we'll get to that game coming up, but Cam Newton.
No.
But yeah, Cardinals are 5-3 after the loss, but it was a close loss. It was a good game.
I think both those teams
are in
very
good
similar.
They're
Right.
on the ups though too.
Yeah.
They're on the up. A lot of good things to say about both teams.
I think they both could be playoff teams, wild card teams, but I think you won't see them progress a little more till next year.
I agree.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we'll move on to the next one: the 5-2 Saints at the 6-2 Buccaneers.
Hey, Tom Brady, where are you? Tom Brady, where are you?
Antonio Brown has lined
I
up.
was the only one to take the Saints, and it was actually a last-minute thing because I scratched out because I had the Buccaneers. I scratched it out, and I said I'm going to take the Saints.
Buccaneers.
So I was actually thinking this was going to be 28-31, but the Saints whooped them 38-3. It was the worst loss of Tom Brady's career. His previous worst loss was by 31 points. This was a 35-point loss. Man, what has happened to the Buccaneers the last couple weeks?
My thing is, okay, you've got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown now.
Yep.
Connor Bragg.
Connor Bragg.
Did you say Gronk?
Yep,
Yeah,
Gronk. Ronald Jones, Leonard Fournette, and you put up a field goal?
No, here's the
field goal?
Now you think that the 3 points is bad. They only ran the ball 4 times.
Yeah, what the hell?
You're overutilizing Brady, thinking that he can do it all.
And the defense.
You got to have some semblance of a run game. I don't care what you
And the
are.
defense didn't show up for him either. And their Buccaneers
Right.
defense has been one of the top defenses this year.
Well, I think too, kind of a stat to throw out there. I think with Lattimore has locked down Evans for the past 4 meetings. I think.
Well,
Yeah.
you bring that up, but I don't know if you guys saw after the game, Bruce Arians kind of threw Brady under the bus. Did you hear about this?
No.
I didn't hear this.
Somebody asked Bruce Arians, what was the deal with Mike Evans? How somebody didn't get him more involved? And he goes, well, he was open plenty. He's like, he just didn't get the ball. So they're saying that he's kind of throwing Brady under the bus because he's not looking for the open receiver. They were talking about that on First Take today.
Well, I think too, kind of Brady's trying to get Brown involved in the offense.
And
And
it
Gronk.
goes back. Granted, Brady's 6 Super Bowl rings, so I guess you could say it about him. But it goes back to the Baker Mayfield thing. Mayfield was the same way with OBJ. You start forcing it to one guy. I don't care if you're Brady or if you're Mayfield. You force it to one guy to make sure that guy's happy.
I think it causes tension.
Then it causes tension. Your quarterback isn't being a quarterback. The quarterback's goal is to hit the open guy, dink it, dunk it, get the first down. But instead, you're throwing it into double coverage to make Brown happy.
My
You
thing too
can't
is-
be living like that.
I think too, Arians. He's one of those harder.
Well, he's called out Brady a couple times this year already, and
Part of
they've
me,
been kind of.
part of me thinks that he's just putting the blame on Brady because it's Brady. He doesn't want to throw the blame on Evans or any of these other guys.
Right.
Now, I know 38-3. Here's a question: do you think they'd be sitting better if they had Winston right now?
No.
Winston,
I think
it's-
Brady's playing like Winston.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. They've lost. Okay, both those losses, they've lost twice to the Saints, right? So they.
Yep.
They got swept.
So they got swept by the Saints, so that puts the Saints in prime position.
So Buccaneers are probably going to be a wild card team. I mean,
The Buccaneers are actually going to have a game up on them to gain the play. If they end up tying, both go 12-4, both go 11-5. The Saints automatically get the bid because they swept.
Well, here's another thing too. Kind of, we go back and forth about this. 38-3. They only ran the ball 4 times. To me, you can't abandon the run. I don't know what it is, but
you can't.
Like, it's the same
Especially
thing.
if you've only ran it 4 times.
Yeah, you have to
Yeah,
run
stupid.
because what do they do when they're playing zone coverage and they're playing five guys back there? And then another thing, I know you always say this: you have to take whatever points you can get. Field goals matter, which is weird because you think field goal, no big deal, but it could be the end of the game, and a field goal might tie the game or win the game for you.
Mm-hmm. So officially, the Saints are 6-2. The Buccaneers fall to 6-3. So and they're in the same division. So you look 6-2 versus 6-3. That's
And they've got
close.
they've got 2 games up on.
Right.
See Winston out there partying on Snapchat.
Doing the W, eating the W. But we'll move on to the next game.
Oh, great.
We kind of ran a little long here. The Patriots 2-5 at the 0-8 Jets.
Jets did score over 10 points.
Yeah, they finally kind of broke through the season.
Hey, they scored more points in this game than all.
The Patriots won the game 30-27. The Patriots are 3-5. The Jets are 0-9. So
If you're the Patriots, this wasn't good.
Yeah,
and it's not like you won. You barely won.
Barely won against the worst team in the league.
mm-hmm.
That's bad.
That's
Now,
That's
as
not
far as
good.
the Patriots go,
I think they got a lot of work to do. Yeah.
do you guys think? I heard Colin Cowherd was talking about this today. He thinks Belichick after this year should go somewhere else.
I agree.
Because does Belichick really want to be in a rebuild?
No, he wants
Because they're
to
in a
be-
rebuild.
Right. He wants to go somewhere that has an opportunity to win.
I think
Like he could go to Atlanta. He could go.
Right.
He could go to the Texans. I mean, they've got Watson. Of course, you don't have any picks, so.
Right.
Or you go. I don't know.
If the jobs would be open, the Chargers would be a nice,
Chargers. That's one he
that
talked
would be
about.
nice.
Chargers, what they said would be about the best one he could.
You come on
go
down to Dallas.
I mean, do you think because McDaniels is probably going to be the head coach?
Right.
to me it seems like I think more and more. I don't know. Maybe it's just by watching their games. It seems like I have a feeling McDaniels is getting closer.
Mm-hmm.
Now I think too.
If Belichick moves on, McDaniels would step
I don't think
in.
I don't think Newton will be the quarterback.
No, I don't think so.
He'll leave and they'll get probably a 3rd round comp pick.
But here's the thing: they're not going to be in position to take one of the top 2 quarterbacks either.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not the top 3. I don't know.
Unless they
Tank, but no, they're not going to tank.
I don't think anybody's prying away the number 1 spot from the
Right.
Jets.
Yeah, I don't think so either. On the Jets side of things, they're 0-9.
Hey,
Just
Flacco
bad.
show
Flacco played,
Yep.
yeah.
They scored 27 points.
And he passed Joe Montana, didn't he?
Woo! It's crazy to think how Montana was this. He was the GOAT, man. He was the best ever. And now he's like 10th
There's
or something.
Yeah.
There's some.
Getting passed by Joe Flacco on the yardage list.
So there's some picture about about him calling plays by himself. No
Mhm.
Yeah.
harder league and had to run plays himself on 4th quarter drive.
Well, that goes back to the conversation we have about different sports. Who was the best?
It's different
Leagues
era.
are so different now.
Mhm.
I mean, they're feeding you the plays. They had no headsets back then. It was just instinct. People played injured.
Mhm. The concussion thing was a whole different
Yeah.
thing back then. All right, that finishes out the Week 9 games.
So I'll start it off. I went.
He was in third.
Wait a minute, there's a
again.
phone call.
Hello.
It's just me. I just wanted to.
Well.
Yeah, that's odd. Keep
But
going.
I went 7-7. I'm 78-56 on the
The yearly,
season.
on the season. I went 9-5. I'm 2nd place this week.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, it's on this side. I went 9-5. I am now 83-50 overall.
Uh-oh. What'd you go?
What'd you
I
do?
went 11-3 this week.
I'm over the.
I'm 88-45.
And that's about how it was. 3rd, 2nd, 1st
I'm just whooping that
this
ass,
week
man.
and overall. So that's
I'm
kind
just
of
bending
weird.
everybody over and just spanking them, dude.
So do you guys want to go into the pick'ems next, or do you want to go into our
Well, I'd
Let's
say
do the pick'em.
Do the pick'ems next, all right.
So,
We're going late tonight, people.
Yeah.
There's a lot to talk about, man.
Yeah, there was. We'll try to move through the pick'ems pretty quick, so that way we can talk about our mid-season projections.
So we got a Thursday night game. It's not a bad game. We got the 5-3 Colts and the 6-2 Titans.
This could kind of go either way.
I'm going Titans.
I gotta go with the Titans on this one.
I am too.
All right.
Early Sunday, we got the 3-4-1 Eagles and the 2-7 Giants.
Ugh.
You know what?
I'm gonna go with the Eagles.
I'm going Giants. I think the Giants pull this out. I got a feeling.
I'm gonna go. I think it comes down to Wentz versus Daniel Jones.
I'm going Eagles.
Go ahead.
Next one, we got the 1-7 Jags and the 6-2 Packers.
Oh, should I take the Jaguars, guys? No, we're gonna go Packers. We know how this one ends.
Next one, we got the 2-6 football team and the 3-5 Lions.
I'm gonna go with the Lions. I think the Lions have shown a little bit more this year to me than the football team.
You know what? I'm going with football team.
I'm going Lions.
I'm going to go with football team.
Okay.
We'll change it up. And we got the 2-6 Texans and the 5-3 Browns.
I'm going Browns.
I'm going Browns as well. They're coming off of a bye week, and I think that kind of helps.
You know what? I'm gonna go with Watson. I'm gonna go with the Texans.
I'll be damned.
I'll be damned. I gotta catch up. I gotta pick everything different, fellas. Next one, we got the 6-3 Bucks and the 3-6 Panthers. This is kind of a toss-up.
Yeah, the Bucks played terrible.
And the Panthers played good. I'm gonna go Panthers, guys. You guys take whoever
You think
you
they're
want.
gonna miss two? You think they're gonna? I don't think Brady loses two in a row.
I'm gonna go with the Bucks. They're not gonna get shut down to 3 points.
I think Brady's pissed now. I think
There
they'll.
probably is.
Then we got the Sunday lates, 2-6 Chargers and the 5-3 Dolphins. Battle of the rookies.
This will actually probably be a pretty good game.
I'm gonna go Dolphins here. I'm taking gut instinct on all my picks this week. Guys.
You know what? I think I'm going Chargers. I think they pull one out this week. They've lost too many games by barely
too
anything.
close.
I'm gonna go with the Dolphins. I think their defense is gonna piece it together a little bit better.
Yeah, the Dolphins are. I mean, it could go either way.
I agree.
Next one, we got the 3-5 Broncos and the 5-3 Raiders.
Give me the Raiders.
I'm going Raiders as
I'm
well. I'm just not sold on the Broncos, and I'm becoming sold on the Raiders.
Next one, 7-2 Bills and the 5-3 Cardinals.
Ooh,
If one gets hot, I could see this going either way.
I could too. This is probably game of the week right here in my eyes.
I think it's gonna come down to the defense.
I'm gonna go Bills.
I gotta go Bills
I'm
as
gonna go
well.
with Bills.
I can't trust the Cardinals quite yet.
Next one, we got the 4-5 49ers and the 6-2 Saints.
The Saints.
49ers are still decimated.
I agree.
Next one, we got the 6-2 Seahawks and the 5-3 Rams.
Now this is a divisional game.
I'm going Seahawks.
See, now I'm kind of at the point where Seahawks defense is horrible.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle's offensive line is not the greatest.
And the Rams can get hot on offense.
Yep.
They can, but then you have Aaron Donald.
Mm-hmm.
And Aaron Donald's leading the league right now in sacks. But
I'm taking Seattle because of the same logic that you had about the Buccaneers. I don't think Wilson drops 2 in a row.
I'm going to go with the Seahawks. I agree with that. I don't think he will. I think they'll pick it up on offense.
But you never know. It's any given Sunday. But
Yeah, I'm gonna go see.
I didn't
I
go-
thought about going Rams.
I
but-
didn't go that logic with Buccaneers, but I am taking that logic with
Now?
the Seahawks.
To round up the late games for Sunday, we got 2-5 and 1 Bengals versus the 8-0 Steelers.
Buddy,
This is my upset of the week, man.
Oh,
I'm
man.
going Bengals.
You know what?
I'm going Steelers just because
I got a
going
feeling.
Bengals.
I got to go with the Bengals.
you're going to go upset of the week as well.
I've got a feeling.
Hey.
You know, and like we said, it's division.
Yeah.
It seems like division, you always end up losing one that you
And
don't.
being 8-0, you're kind of due for a loss. I could see it.
Especially with Big Ben's health on the kind of a big question mark right now.
Oh, yeah.
So we got the Sunday night game. We got the 6-2 Ravens and the 3-5 Patriots.
It's the Ravens.
I'm going Ravens as well. I don't think the Patriots has enough.
Especially
and I think
what
you
they
guys
did
have.
with versus the Jets.
If they come out and beat you guys after just barely beating the Jets, I'm going to be scratching my head.
Yeah.
Then we got the Monday night game, Captain Kirk. So we got the Vikings versus the 5-4 Bears.
3 and 5.
Will
Vikings.
Cousins get his first Monday night win?
I believe so.
You know what?
I think
I'm
so,
taking
too.
Vikings. The Bears have
Oh,
kind of
baby.
fallen apart, and
This will be
the
crazy.
Vikings are kind of rising.
This will be crazy though, because the last 2 games, all divisional games, Vikings have beat the Packers, then the Lions.
And now,
Now they got
up
a chance
to
to
the
beat the
Bears.
Bears.
Now, kind of to recap or finalize Week 10, we got teams on the bye: the Jets, Chiefs, Cowboys, and the Falcons.
Okay.
So I guess the Cowboys and Jets. Oh hell, the Jets and the Chiefs are going to tie for the most points scored this week. Nothing. Well, that kind of goes off of Week 10. We kind of talked about last week. We were going to go with kind of a mid-season award prediction. See if we've made any changes.
And we have.
Yeah, we've made a lot of changes.
So
Like I said, every one of mine's different.
So I think we're going to. What you guys want to do? You want to kind of go in first to who we had?
Yep.
Preseason.
yeah, we'll do a preseason, and then we'll go into what we changed it to.
Well, I'll start off. So for start of the season, I had McCaffrey as the MVP, Lamar as the offensive player of the year, Daniil Hunter as the defense.
Well, here, you want to go by? Let's just
Let's go one by one.
Yeah, one by one. We'll go
All right.
MVP,
All
and
right.
then we'll each say ours.
So I had McCaffrey.
I had Mahomes.
And I had Mahomes.
Okay. Offensive player, I had Lamar.
I had Lamar.
And I had Lamar.
Defensive player, I had Daniil Hunter.
I had Nick Bosa.
And I had Aaron Donald.
So 2 of them are out. Then we had the offensive rookies. I had Clyde Edwards from the Chiefs.
I had the same.
And I had CD Lamb for the Cowboys. I don't think that's going to happen.
Then we had a defensive rookie. I had Patrick Queen for the Ravens.
I had Chase Young.
I had Patrick Quinn as well.
And then comeback player, I had Gronk.
So did I.
And I had Matt Stafford.
A lot of changes.
So going on to
The
Mid-season
current
pick.
midseason projection.
for MVP, I got Russell Wilson. I think he's due for an MVP finally.
I got Russell Wilson as well.
I got Wilson as well. So I think we're
Unanimous.
all in agreement that he is having an MVP season.
I think it's going to go to a quarterback regardless. I mean, you're talking the only other competition would maybe
Really?
be Rodgers and Mahomes, maybe.
Right, Rodgers and Mahomes.
But I think Wilson's carrying that team on his back.
Now, I could see Dalvin Cook.
Well,
Now,
Maybe if this continues.
if he keeps it, puts up, maybe
Mhm.
1,500 yards rushing and 800 yards receiving,
Yeah.
something
in
like
15 games, right?
because we've seen it happen with AP. He's won an MVP
Mm.
before.
that. Offensive player of the year, I picked Kamara.
I picked Dalvin Cook.
And I picked Kyler Murray. I think this is going to go to a quarterback as well. I think Kyler Murray with the 2,000 pass yards, the 500 rush yards. He has a team at 5-3.
We kind of.
I can kind of see that working in tandem, the record with the statistics.
Well, we kind of said that earlier about Murray's on pace for the 4,000 yards.
4,000 and 1,000.
Now, if he were to come close to that, I could see him winning MVP.
I could
possible.
maybe see it, but I think Wilson's a little bit above him in MVP, so that's why I'm giving Wilson MVP and I'm giving Murray
I
offensive
would say too,
player.
because I could see Wilson maybe hitting 50 touchdowns.
Mhm.
Oh,
Now, for defensive player of the year, I got Aaron Donald.
I got Aaron Donald.
And I had
You
Aaron
didn't
Donald
change.
first. I didn't change. That's my
Yeah.
one that I kept the same, Aaron Donald.
Now, for offensive rookie of the year, I got Herbert. I think Herbert will beat out Burrow.
I got Herbert.
And I got Burrow. So I'm taking
It's
the.
a quarterback
Yeah.
I
award.
think it's going to be one of the two.
I believe so as well.
So for me, I didn't change this one. I still think Patrick Queen will win the defensive rookie of the year.
I got Antoine Winfield Jr.
He's tearing it up.
Yep.
And I changed mine to who you had yours at
Chase
first.
Young.
I'm keeping. I changed it to Chase Young, but I still believe that Patrick Queen, which was my initial, I thought about keeping it, but
I have a weird thing too.
I think Chase Young's gonna get it, but Patrick Queen could. I still think he can.
And then we had the comeback player. He's back finally, Alex Smith.
That's why I went with two. Just because of the gruesome injury.
Right.
Coming back and playing again.
I could see that as being from the injury, but I got Roethlisberger as mine because he has them at 8-0.
Yeah.
And seeing what they were last year, I think they were like middle of the pack.
That's true,
8-8,
yeah.
9-7.
Yeah.
He comes out, and that just shows you what a
Yeah.
true quarterback can do for a team. I don't know. That's what I have.
Then we kind of talked about it. Maybe going over the mid-season stat leaders for right now. Let me look them up real quick. We'll kind of give a little bit of a discussion.
You did send that
Let's see if
link.
I got it right here. So for passing yards right now, we have Matt Ryan, Mahomes, Josh Allen, Russell Wilson, and Teddy Bridgewater leading out the top five. So what's your guys' takeaway from that?
It's yards, man.
Does Teddy surprise you for being on?
Teddy surprises
Yeah,
me.
Teddy surprises me there. But the rest don't surprise me really.
It's weird.
But
Matt Ryan is the leader in his team.
He's the leader in yards.
Yeah.
But is some of those garbage time?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The leader in passer rating is Aaron Rodgers at 117.5, Russell Wilson at 117.1. This is a hell
That's
of a
close,
list.
yeah.
Patrick Mahomes at 115.9, Drew Brees in fourth at 110.3, and Derek Carr at 110.
If you look at those lists between the yards and the passer rating, the only person that shows up on both is Mahomes
Yep.
and Wilson.
Yep.
So for rushing yards, Dalvin Cook is leading with 858.
And he missed
And
a
he
game.
missed a game.
Derrick Henry's got 843. And then we have really a big significant drop off.
Wow, yeah, there is.
Jacobs, Clyde Edwards, and Gurley are all in the 500s.
You go from 800 to 500.
By watching the Vikings games, this doesn't shock me.
To me, it seems kind of weird that Gurley's on the top 5 because really, why did the Rams get rid of him? He wasn't producing like he used to.
But 584, it's not.
And the thing with Dalvin
Super
too
good.
is he's getting a lot of catches too. All-purpose yards. It's not on here, but
The rush yards that I guess it kind of surprises me. I guess I had high expectations. Zeke is not on here.
I think with
It's
Zeke, I think
crazy.
I know you guys paid him the money, and you're probably gonna have some people that are kind of like, eh. I think really Dak getting hurt is a big cause, but I think the biggest one is the line.
no.
Yeah, the line is decimated. But I mean, I get like Cook and Henry up in the 840s, but you think Zeke could be in there in the 500 to 600s. You know what I mean?
But now with Clyde Edwards, he's at number 4.
And they're a passing team.
To me,
And then you got Le'Veon Bell coming in too. So
it really doesn't surprise me though because the run game's working there because you got Mahomes. The way they can pass that ball.
Exactly.
Then kind of going on to the receiving yards, Stephon Diggs is leading with 813. Then we have Metcalf, Travis Kelsey's on here,
That's weird.
It's a tight end.
769. Robbie Anderson 751 and DeAndre Hopkins is at 734.
This list doesn't surprise me either. Stephon Diggs. Man, I bet you guys are hating trading him away.
He wasn't happy there though.
Yeah, he wanted out.
I look at it. We got Jefferson. I think he might be as good as Diggs.
Right,
in a
step
couple
into
years.
that role.
Now to me, Kelsey's surprising. Now, to me, the one that's really surprising is Robbie Anderson. Especially
And the Jets let
Carolina.
And then it's kind of the same thing going to number 5 with Hopkins. The Texans traded him away.
Yeah.
That's a true number 1 target. Really, I think they'd be winning a couple more games if...
I think that was the dumbest thing the Texans did.
Yep,
I think they would have won a lot more games this year had he stayed.
I agree. Are you doing scoring?
Pretty much, Dalvin Cook's leading 84, but other than that,
It's all kickers.
It's all kickers. Yo, Coos!
Dalvin's leading
Falcons,
points.
Saints, Carolina, and Bengals are the next.
We'll
4.
move on. Going into the sacks, Aaron Donald's leading with 9. He's in a tie with Myles Garrett.
Yep.
So they're leading at 9. The Saints, T. Hendrickson's got 7.5. Who the hell's that? I don't know.
Brandon Graham
And then
from the Eagles has 7. He's tied with Agba.
Agba from Miami.
Yeah.
Which, so really, the way it's looking, nobody's on pace to break the sack record this year.
No, I think it's a special year. You have to have a special year to break the sack record. And I don't.
J.C. Jackson, you
Yeah.
don't play for nobody?
Now, the interception leader, I guess J.C. Jackson's got 5.
It doesn't even say he plays for a team.
Oh, it's like Leon Sandcastle.
That's weird.
Then going into second, we got a tie with C. Davis,
Three-way tie.
Kyle Fuller, and Xavier Howard all have 4. Then
Marcus
Peters from Baltimore is at 3. Who is J.C. Jackson?
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know.
Then going into the tackles, Blake Martinez is leading with 92 combined. Then we have Jalen Smith, 89, Eric Kendricks, 84, Roquan Smith, 82, and Devin White, 82. So
Jalen Smith at number 2 for Dallas. That's real good that he's got 89, but he's kind of blown some coverages and stuff too. So it's kind of a mixed bag.
That's where I think you guys.
He's up there in the top of tackles, but he's also has shown some weaknesses.
Who are you, J.C. Jackson?
Yeah, you have to Google him.
I think it's for the.
I think that's all. It has
He plays for the Patriots.
I wonder why it doesn't say. That's weird. It didn't say that.
Like in Madden, New England team,
The New England.
New England coach. It doesn't actually say
Here's the thing.
Belichick.
Has Belichick ever been the coach in Madden?
I don't think so. It always says New England
Have
coach.
to go back to game day.
Stupid. All right. Anyways,
Well,
I think that's all we
That's
have.
pretty much it.
Well,
So I guess tune in for next week
we
and
rambled on for a while, but
ramble.
I won't be here next week
Uh-oh.
No,
because I'm going on a vacation.
Must be nice.
you're gonna have to make your picks. So
Yeah. So I'll just like text them to you.
you just do that. Then.
Text me. 911. Text me, baby.
Well, we've made these picks, but like just send me a picture of the thing and I'll text them.
I'll do that.
I did
I
that.
got plenty of free time.
Alrighty.
So,
All right.
So
come on, guys. Like us on Facebook.
Yes.
We got a YouTube channel, 3-Man Power
Like I
Trip.
said,
Some comments, all that good stuff.
Let us know what you think.
it's gonna be
Yeah.
a 2-man power trip next week with you guys. So
Pump and dump,
wow.
pump and dump.
all right.
Alrighty, see you guys next time.
Peace out. Like and subscribe.